the same day, 3:05 p.m. The trade conference finally reached its halfway point. Before the intermission officially began, the heads of state gave a brief press conference for the media. Meanwhile, Lloyd and the others took the opportunity to speak with Mr. Grimwood, who started his break ahead of the others. So, that explains it. Things being as precarious as they are, the SSS was asked to assist with the security detail. Exactly. Not sure how much of a difference we really make in the grand scheme, though. We may only be additional peace of mind. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. You're the team that thwarted an assassination attempt on our previous mayor. It's reassuring to have you all here. That's kind of you to say. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. How is the conference going, Mr. Grimwood? Things appear to have gone smoothly thus far. That's fair to say. So far, so good. The participating nations have already agreed to several trade deals. Mayor Croy's efforts are truly beginning to pay off for all of us. Thank goodness. That puts my mind at ease. You said it's been good so far. Do you think things may get rocky in the second half? Oh. Is there something you're concerned about? This may be out of line for me to say as an observer and not a participant. The purpose of the first half of the conference was to focus on economic proposals that affect things such as trade and finance. However, the second half's focus will be proposals for each country's head of state. Each nation's agenda will come into play. That is undoubtedly where the topic of Crossbell security will be addressed. And that would mean... Talking about Crossbell state security means foreign military forces going to enter the equation. The Non-Aggression Pact was signed only 2 years ago. Can they really do that? It's true that LaBelle's queen pushed that pact into reality 2 years ago with Crossbell's best interests in mind. Nonetheless, 2 participating nations today technically did not sign the pact. Revache and, well, Crossbell itself. It's a foregone conclusion a new continental security framework will be discussed. Grandfather expects that too and is equally concerned. Would the simplest solution not be to write a similar new pact and have Crossbell sign it as well? Has to be. They should sign a new framework like the Non-Aggression Pact that prohibits military force between all the nations. Oh. I get it. Crossbell isn't technically a nation. The Empire and the Republic only recognize Crossbell as an autonomous state. It's as you say. Crossbell lacks the sovereignty to enter an international treaty. Economic deals alone are not grounds for the state to enter into such agreements. That's why Crossbell's security becoming a focus at the trade conference is a precarious issue for Crossbell's leaders. Sort of getting it, but this definitely isn't cut and dry. There is something I would like to ask. Crossbell is not the only autonomous state on the continent. There is also Le Mans, Ored, and North Ambria. Again, these are places, if I remember correctly, Arios visited. That's why I'm suspicious of things. Are those states also barred from entering into international treaties? No, they're not. It's true that each state has its own set of historic circumstances as to why they've remained states and not formed nations. However, each has also been recognized by the major powers as an independent state with sovereignty similar to their own. So they're sovereign states. Exactly. They're treated very differently than Crossbell, primarily because their sovereignty is recognized by the holy city of Arteria. And that would be, as in the high seat of the Septian Church, that holy city of Arteria. Yes, as a city-state, Arteria's territory is small. The Church holds religious authority on the continent. Several autonomous states and free cities have been established because of the Church's support. Then you have Crossbell, whose autonomy was gifted to it by Erebonia and Calvard. That's how we're in the unique position of having 2 suzerain states above us. And that has historically led to Crossbell being dragged into their conflicts time after time. If Crossbell had a modicum of sovereignty, the situation could improve. But if consent from both countries is what it will take for that to become a reality, then it will never happen. I wish I could disagree. And put that way, it does seem bleak. Getting back to the topic at hand, I would expect the Chancellor and President to have their own security proposals. Naturally, each country's terms for such proposals will be vastly different. A Speaker and Mayor will have to be careful of that. Apologies, my young friends. I didn't mean to put even more on your plate. Remember that Speaker McDowell is used to these kind of things. I sense Mayor Croy still has some cards to play himself. Cards to play? As in a plan? What could you be referring to? I don't know the particulars myself, however, it could... Sorry, I should take this. Lloyd Bennings of the Special Support Section speaking.
Bennings, こちらは記者会見が終わった。首脳たちは36階に引き上げたが、お前たちはどこにいる?
Got it. We're still in the break room on the 34th. Is there anything else we should know? Yes, actually. We were contacted by both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith. They each requested to speak with the SSS during the intermission. They what? Given who they are, I hope you understand we're in no position to turn them down. The SSS is to visit each leader's rooms during the break, and that's final. The President's room is the furthest one in the West Wing corridor, and the Chancellor's is the furthest room in the East Wing. Hold on a second. I know we can't refuse, but why ask for us? This is a lot of pressure, Dudley. Don't be childish, Bannings. This is an excellent opportunity to learn the motives of each side. You're right. Okay, we'll head there right away. Listen up. Rely on McDowell if things get difficult. He's the best suited at handling these situations on your team. Report to me once you're finished. Understood. What was that about, Lloyd? Chat sounded all over the place. What's going on, bud? Brace yourselves. Lloyd explained to the others that both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith had requested a private audience with them. Excuse me? No fooling. None detected. This does not appear to be a joke. This is certainly a surprise. The Special Support Section's name is more well known than I thought. I don't know about that. Suspect it's because we're familiar with a couple of people from each of their staff. Could explain why the Chancellor and President have taken an interest in us. Might be onto something there. Regardless of the reason, there's no getting around our hands being tied. I know. Let's head up to the furthest rooms on the east and west wings of the 36th floor and get this over with. We need to see them right away. Roger. Lloyd? Yes, sir. Being requested by the heads of state of both major powers is an important matter, regardless of the reason why. Sure, you're apprehensive, but you should take advantage of this chance. Being able to size each man up for yourself should be a valuable experience for you. I was thinking the same thing. We're on our way to see them now, so excuse us, Mr. Grimwood. Anyone else left in here? Nope. I'm not sure where Vice Commissioner Pierre went. He's been gone for a while. Maybe he went to the security command room? Oh, what's he doing now? Just checking the room before I continue my rounds. Halfway through the conference, status remains normal. Our goal is to detect the terrorist movements before they act, but I wouldn't complain if nothing happened today. How are you and your men faring, Captain Grant? Just fine. Everyone is on standby and instructed to be on high alert. They're used to being ready for an emergency at any moment. Suppose they would be. It's reassuring. Let's go over how the force will be deployed for the second half of the conference. If the intermission ends without incident, then the terrorists may be targeting the conclusion of the conference itself. I hope I'm overthinking it, but it's too soon to be optimistic. We'll be ready when the time comes. That much I'm sure. What are you doing here? You should visit the Chancellor and President while there's still time. But I don't have to tell you that it wouldn't be wise to keep them waiting. Yes. It's fine, Dudley. Time won't advance unless I make it. Strangely, our forces have been scouring the premises for hours, but still haven't seen any sign of the terrorists. Just what are they hiding? No suspicious movements have been spotted inside or outside of the city as of yet. Our surveillance teams report that Heiyue and the Red Constellation haven't shown any signs of acting today. I don't know whether to be relieved or to take that as ominous. This may only be the calm before the storm. Security procedures are the same regardless of whether the conference is in session or in intermission. Even with security as tight as it is, we still must remain vigilant to ascertain where and how the terrorists may break through. There are several possibilities, so we're keeping our ears to the ground. I would say the first half of the conference went well, regardless of what the two major powers have up their sleeves. Revitalizing the continental economy is welcome news to Lebel and Revache. It's unusual for the two major powers to be so compromising on proposals made by Crossbell's state. Granted, the two have a vested interest in seeing the state prosper, but it's still surprising. That's right. All nations agreed on that issue as well. Have that forwarded to our main office. Looks like he's making a call on his Enigma. Most likely to his colleagues outside of the tower. Guess his job is to give a little play-by-play to them about what's happening during the conference. Sounds like a rough job. Boring, too. Might not be an enigma. Might be something else. I'm amazed how many agreements have been reached regarding the continent's economy. This could be the influence of Mayor Croy doubling as the CEO of the IBC. I don't think it's a stretch to say that economic development is the key to the continent enjoying peace. Hey Lloyd and gang, how's security work and going? Good? For now, anyway. How about you? Getting all of the coverage you need? Not too shabby. We've had a decent amount of access. Might write a genuinely positive article for once. What I need is access to a little more of the juicy stuff and the public will eat it up. I don't like what you're implying. Grace, please don't make our jobs any harder by sneaking into somewhere you're not supposed to be. I won't. I was going to make Reigns do the... I promise we will not break any rules. Just pretend like I'm not even here. Don't worry about it. I'm even more worried now. As am I. All I'll say is that I promise that I, Grace Lynn, will be following the rules. Now if you'd excuse me, I'm going to head to the break room and report back to the news service. How many times must we tell you? The press is not allowed past here. Isn't it intermission right now, though? Can't you just, somehow... We promise we only want to take photos. They won't even know we're there. That's right. Can't let Grace down. Please let us through. Persistent as ever. Good luck trying to tell a reporter where they can and can't go. Well, as long as no one is trying to physically force their way through, they're not breaking any rules. I guess so. It's all part of being a member of the press, right? Maybe, but it is inconvenient for us. So much for using the elevators. Reporters are blocking the way to the elevators. It is not possible to get past them like this. Just go through the middle there and past the security guard. It's only 4 people. It's only 4 people. But no, there's a crowd in the way. Is that Arios and Kilika? I believe so. What could they be talking about? It's almost been a year since you left the guild. Have you adjusted well to your new job? More or less. I've had to get used to working much harder than I did while I was with the guild. So it seems. How has Shizuku been? As cheerful as ever. Though her hearing is almost too good sometimes. I've been blessed to see her more often recently. To laugh with her too. That's good to hear. It's already been 5 years since Saya's passing, hasn't it? And 6 years since we first met. That's right. 6 years. You and Saya met completely by chance when you came to Crossbell, while wandering the continent. She insisted you stay with our family while in town, no matter how much you tried to refuse, didn't she? Never expected to see you working for the guild in Lebel 3 years later. The goddess works in mysterious ways. You never know how connections between people may turn out, indeed. I'll never forget the hospitality the two of you showed me back then. I regret that I was unable to return the favor to her. Don't dwell on it. The fact you remember to this day would be more than enough for Sire. Sounds like those two knew each other before they met through the guild. So it would seem, but I think it would be rude to listen in any further. I agree, we should leave before we interrupt them. Let's go interrupt them. I just remembered. Estelle and Joshua wanted to see you when you came earlier in the year. They were disappointed to miss you when they heard you had lunch with Lynn during the anniversary festival. Were they? It wasn't my intention to give them the cold shoulder. If time had permitted, I wouldn't have minded catching up with them. I have, however, heard plenty about their achievements while they were in Crossbell. It's amazing to think those are the same two rookies that came through my branch's doors 2 years ago. They were invaluable to us while they were here. I should have expected as much from a pair that were raised by Cassius. I look forward to seeing them grow even more. That's right. Kilika used to be a bracer receptionist in the Burl. That explains how she knows Estelle and Joshua. Small world, isn't it? It's impossible to predict where people will meet or how they'll become connected. I bet you've also been keeping in contact with Zin. You could say that. We rarely get the chance to meet anymore, oppositions being what they are. If we eavesdropped enough for one day, let's move on, guys. Alright, fair enough. I wonder if we'll ever see Zin again. I don't expect him to appear in any of the future games at all, or it being announced recently that he is. Nope, it's not going to be a thing. No terrorist activity has been detected as of yet. I'd like to believe that our security has been tight. However, I know we can't get ahead of ourselves. We need to keep this level of security up until the conference is over. The staff members are currently resetting the conference room. Conference room? Feel free to pass. I'll keep giving security my all until it's done. Yeah. There we go. It's up to me to give all the attendees a clean room they can feel comfortable in for the conference's second half. Promise I'll give this conference room the cleaning of a lifetime. And the Vice Commissioner looks so apprehensive standing there. Wonder what's on his mind. Don't worry, I won't bother him. I'm worried, that's all. So weird seeing these flags, stripes, banners, whatever you want to call them. Alright, now to straighten out this microphone. Makes me a little nervous thinking that some of the most powerful people on the continent were sitting here minutes ago. Just a thought, if I enter through here, will it spark the light? We've eavesdropped too much. No, it's just slightly a bit further, isn't it? I was just wondering if we could just bypass the trigger, but no. No, we cannot. I suppose it is a nice view. There is absolutely no way terrorists will be flying in the skies. Absurd. There's simply no way that could happen. You don't sound very convincing. It's absurd. I must be overthinking it. Yes, overthinking it. I saw Mr. McLean and President Rocksmith, Sir Aid, speaking to one another. They seem acquainted. I wonder what their relationship is. These are the waiting rooms for the escorts of the representatives from the Erebonian Empire and the Burl Kingdom. It's exhilarating to think the Julia Schwartz was standing in this spot a few minutes ago. It's making me want to scream. There's also that girl from the school. But she left somewhere, I don't know where. I think she went to the roof. Oh. What do you know? The elevator has arrived. How about that? Please, after you. No, I couldn't. You go ahead. It's quite alright. I promise you I'm in no particular hurry. I insist you were here first. What's up, Lloyd? Look at those two soldiers by the elevator. Are they trying to negotiate who rides the elevator first? This is kind of awkward to watch. Look at them go, like an awkward couple on an anniversary festival date. I don't have to necessarily use the elevator, you know. You're right. Fine. Why the stair? Why is it making me use the stairs, though? What? That's why. So, that's what happened. Oh, Lucy. Yep. I was only in Revache on business too. Guess she caught wind. Tried to run, but she caught me. Dang, she's gotten better. Do you realize how many bonks over the head she gave me? 0. She hugged you and cried, didn't she? Dang it. I know exactly how Lucy feels, you know. She's probably well aware just how dangerous your day-to-day is and has been worried sick. Man, why do perceptive women gotta be so scary? I never know how to handle them. Maybe, but you brought it upon yourself. This really does take me back. It's been so long since I've seen Leo, too. I'd love for all of us to have a reunion. Why the look, Lechter? Isn't this when you say, yeah, let's all have a bash at Michelin and party till we drop? You got me. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. Just don't hold your breath, you know? I know. I'll still be looking forward to it. I should be going. If you'll please excuse me. No prob. And hey, don't forget to say hi to Zeke for me. I still owe him that salami. Damn, she's really grown up. She's become the ideal crown princess. You guys think so too, right? Wait. Busted. Sorry, we didn't mean to eavesdrop. It was a happy accident. Was it? You seem very curious about the relationship, Ellie. Tio? She ain't the only one. You and the princess sure seem close. What's the story? I was her senior back in school. Prep, I mean, not Sunday school. Genis Royal Academy, to be specific. Genis Royal Academy? Isn't that a prestigious school in the Burl? That's right. It's true they accept students from abroad, but did you study there on Imperial taxpayer money? Now Mangiliath paid my tuition out of pocket. And it's about time I hit the old dusty trail myself. Oh, that reminds me. You got called in to talk with the head honchos, right? They're both real pains in the ass to deal with, so good luck in there. What? Where are you going, Lechter? I want to speak to you. Could he be any more sketchy if he tried? Who'd have thought the next Queen of LaBelle went to school with an Imperial spy? Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. No matter how you put it, can't forget that he's a subordinate to the Blood and Iron Chancellor. As for what he's after personally, I think we'll have to figure that out for ourselves. Let's see if I can go find him. So, you're a coffee connoisseur too, are you, Grizzly Grim? You and the Chancellor would get along just fine. Oh, His Excellency is also an avid coffee drinker, I take it. Yep, he takes it like he takes his despair. Black. He loves this stuff. Lechter, what do you know? He loves this stuff. I don't think I've ever seen him blink in all the years I know him. Is that so? That explains how he always has his eyes on the rest of us. Are they seriously having this conversation? It sounds as dark as the Chancellor likes his coffee. Please tell me that's not an actual translation, that's Geofront added that as a joke. Either it's Falcom or Geofront, either is hilarious. So, we of the coffee delegation have proudly drafted Chancellor Osborne. What about you, Lechter? Which side are you on? Sorry to burst your bubble, but I've always been a tea guy, personally. Lechter, I love you. I'm onto your game. Trying to butter up the second secretary by asking what beverages he prefers? Yeah, why not? You all seem like the chatty type. Might as well pump you for what you're worth before the others do. Nothing wrong with a pretty lady hitting up a handsome fellow for an article, right? Stop. You're gonna make me blush. He's laying it on a little thick. Still, looks like Grace has a handle on how to deal with Lechter. From where I'm standing, they're sizzling each other with a fun little game of cat and mouse. Just remember, there's something important I want to discuss with you, Grizzly Grim. There is? What's it about? I've been having some troubles at my workplace. You're an expert on civil rights, yeah? I want you to take on something. So that's it. I don't think now is the appropriate time, though. How about this? I'll leave this with you, and you can contact me whenever is convenient for you. Mr. Grimwood presented Lechter with his business card. Hey, thanks. Guess Lechter's going to take this opportunity to network. Does work in intelligence, after all. Extroversion comes with the territory. Let me ask you this, Grizzly Grim. Yes, quite so. So that's how it is. As curious as I am to know what they're talking about, I don't think we should keep listening. Let's not eavesdrop any more than we already have. But, I want to know more. That was great, though. This is great. It's great. It's one of those things where it's like, I can't say for fear of spoilers for people who are following along in like release order with my Let's Plays and stuff like that. But trust me, that is really funny. That is really funny. I saw Princess Claudia a few moments ago. I knew she'd be here, but I could hardly believe my eyes. Being so close to all of the dignitaries is kind of amazing. Don't think I could live with the shame of letting them down today. That's reason enough to stay sharp. This is the room of His Lordship Prince Albert. Speaking with Down is currently visiting with His Lordship. However, I've been instructed to let you pass. You may enter if you'd like. Okay. We're out of deliberations, but can still feel the fatigue from facing down Osborne and Rocksmith. That may be, however. Don't sell yourself short, Your Lordship. Your predecessors would be proud of how you've handled yourself. It's been 5 years since I ascended to the throne. Domestic order has finally been secured, but I have much to learn as a statesman. Oh, look who it is. Thank you again for all of your help yesterday. Good afternoon, Special Support Section. Pardon our interruption. Yes, I recall you being added to today's security detail. It's my understanding that once even saved Speaker McDowell's life. I trust you're in good hands. I think you may be expecting a little too much of us. Not at all. I share the sentiment that is reassuring to have you here. We have the peace of mind to focus ourselves on the second half of the conference. About that, do you expect things to become problematic, Grandfather? I do. Unlike the first half, I suspect the faults of Crossbell State will be put in the spotlight one after another. I imagine the major powers will be as demanding as ever. However, I'm also concerned about Dieter. During our last Diet session, he was enthusiastic to introduce radical ideas. Such drive comes with youth, and I do respect that enthusiasm. However, I'm worried what direction that could take us today. I hadn't thought about it that way. Mr. Grimwood alluded to Mayor Coy having some kind of plan for the second half of the conference. I don't know the details myself, but I'm sure he'll bring it to the table sooner or later. The direction the conference will determine whether this plan brings good or bad fortune, isn't that right, Speaker? Precisely. As Speaker, I have a duty to be the Mayor's ally during the trade conference. I'm in a difficult position, but I'll do what I can to support Dieter. Good luck, Grandfather. I'll be rooting for you. As Speaker, I have a duty to aid Dieter during the trade conference. I'm in a difficult position, but I'll do what I can to support him. Yes, I agree. I can't afford to lose focus during the second half of the conference. We need to be especially wary of whatever security proposals the two major powers bring to the table. Yes, it's like, it's almost time for things to go a bit, hectic, fun, exciting, intriguing, all of these things. You're the SSS, correct? Princess Claudia instructed me to let you pass. Feel free to enter if you'd like to visit. I most certainly would. May I ask you something, Sieg? How do you think Grandmother would respond if she were here? Screw you. You have a point. I can't help but be who I am. Oh, hello, SSS. Sorry for interrupting, Your Highness. Don't concern yourselves with it. I was merely thinking aloud. I'm glad you're here, to be honest. You are, Your Highness? Are you also ruminating over what could happen during the second half of the conference? There is that, specifically, but I was thinking a tad broader. As Crown Princess, I have some knowledge in the area of diplomatic negotiations. To be a good negotiator, you need several skills such as insight, judgment, and objectivity. The first half of the conference made me painfully aware that I still have room for growth in those areas. So that is what is bothering you. Give yourself some credit. Knowing where you can improve is half the battle. That's right. And you're still only as old as Lloyd, Ellie, and me, Your Highness. You're an inspiration, if you ask me. Do you think so? That's very kind of you. Still, being timid in a room like that is unavoidable at this stage in my career. The continent's troubles won't wait for me to catch up in experience. I'll have to gain it slowly and take everything in stride as I do. It's a good way to approach it. Just don't forget to kick back and relax every now and then. Cut loose a little. Like now, for example. It's your break time, isn't it? Razzie, I swear to Arios, if you're thinking of inviting her out for a drink right now... It's okay, Lloyd. I appreciate that he doesn't feel the need to force formality. It's relaxing, actually. Now I think about it, perhaps nostalgic is a better word. When I'm around all of you, I feel like I'm speaking with Estelle, Joshua, and all of our other friends. You do? Might be giving us too much credit. Not at all. It's also customary for friends to treat each other. Don't you all care for some tea? No, we couldn't possibly. As much as I would love to, there is somewhere else we have to be. My apologies. I should have considered that. I won't keep you any longer. Please be careful today, everyone. I'll be rooting for you. And rest assured that I will be giving the second half of the conference my utmost. I'll be rooting for you too. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me, everyone. Let's all focus on what's to come during the next part of the conference. Screw, screw. Screw, screw. Screw! I've been waiting for you. You're the Crossbell Police Department Special Support Section, correct? We are. Is this the President's room? Yes, I've been told to let you pass. Please enter, and mind your manners. Alright. Please excuse us. This man is the President of Calvard, one of the continent's 2 largest nations. Sure is. Even I've got butterflies in my stomach. Excuse us, Mr. President. Thank you for requesting to meet with the Special Support Section. Thank you all for coming. Please, sit down. No need to feel anxious, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Gladly. Are you all surprised I called you here? Where are my manners? Allow me to apologize for taking up your precious time. I imagine you must be very busy. You don't have to apologize to us. That's right, it's an honor to have been invited. You're Speaker McDowell's granddaughter, is that right? We met once before at a celebration of some kind, if I remember correctly. That's right. We spoke once when I had the opportunity to visit Calvard with my grandfather. It was 2 years ago. Ah, yes, now I remember. And then, just earlier this year, your grandfather chose to not seek re-election and became the Speaker. I truly admire how passionate he still is at his age. He's a model statesman, I may say so. I'm sure grandfather would be flattered to hear that. By the way, Mr. President, what was it you called us here for? Truth be told, I'd heard all about you lot from Kilika. This year's Schwarz auction sounded like quite the event, am I right? Frankly, former Speaker Hartman and I were never on good terms. And selfishly, I've been eager to meet the police team that tipped the first dominoes that led to his downfall. We're on it, sir. Yeah, but honestly, the dude had it coming. He ain't got no one to blame but himself. That is true. He made his bed the day he became involved with the cult. Ah, of course. I know of them too. The DG cult. Their treachery spread across the entire continent, but no country was more affected than my own. I owe you my thanks for putting a stop to them once and for all. You're welcome, but really, we're only doing our jobs. And we weren't alone either. Several others supported us and made sure we solved that crisis in one piece. No need to be so humble, my boy. I heard things were rather dire. Even your guardian force was being manipulated. Took about an uphill battle. Yet you still managed to overcome it all. Protect a little girl and squash the cult. Good goddess. Those are no small achievements, lads. Well, you flatter us, Mr. President. Truly. Thank you for such high praise. Honestly, had Crossbell fallen to the cult, I don't know what we would have done. If they had taken hold of the IBC, that would have brought international trade and finances to a halt. Such a thing would have had severe consequences for our economy. That's true. All the more reason I'd like to acknowledge your valor. I think the fitting thing to do would be to award you each a medal. Yes, that sounds perfect. As soon as I return to the Republic, I'll have the arrangements made. No, that's not necessary. Is it appropriate for citizens of Crossbell to receive awards from a Republican government? And besides, I already got plenty of recognition back in May from Old Man McDowell. Truly, I don't think there's anything inappropriate about it at all. Your troubles are our own as well. After all, the Republic holds suzerainty over Crossbell. Yeah, there we get to the heart of the matter, don't we? Mr. President, there's no need for the long faces or the glares, boys and girls. You received an invitation from our pal, the Bloody Nine Chancellor too, did you not? I'd be delighted to speak with you all more, but I think my turn is over. And not to fear, I'll see to it that you receive those awards we spoke of. Please look forward to it. You can just tell what he was getting at, couldn't you? You could just hear it in his words. He was so delightful. But he had an agenda. Thank you for coming. I believe you were called by Chancellor Osborne too. You can find his room in the opposite wing. Thanks. We appreciate your help. You're welcome. Farewell. He was something, wasn't he? Exactly what I expected from the leader of such a large country. Capable and devilishly cunning. Could you at least wait until we're not standing in front of his room, was he? Yes, but he is not wrong. I do not think he was intentionally trying to put pressure on us, but he managed to either way. He was trying to keep up appearances. As Calvard's president, and it would be good publicity to honor the ones who were credited with ending the cult incident. Said Crossbell's troubles are theirs as well. Which reaffirms that he sees Calvard as Crossbell's owners. Man, sure that making that clear wasn't his whole reason for calling us in there. These major power leaders got egos as wide as their country's borders. Without a doubt, even Diet members from an autonomous state like this have nothing on them. Still have to speak with the Chancellor. What could that be about? I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I do know that we need to steel ourselves before we meet him. Cold steel ourselves. Thank you for your help today, Special Support Section. The President seemed delighted to have met you. Did he now? You haven't left yet. Perhaps you'd like to join me for some tea. They even provide me with these steamed buns. Please make yourselves at home. Thank you for the offer, Mr. President, but we really couldn't. That's right, we're sorry for interrupting. These buns are quite delectable. I think I'll take a few home with me as souvenirs. Alright then. Like, smile's just getting bigger and bigger on my face because it's like the further we go in this direction, the further we get to him.